There's a new feature on the protocol ARM design page. It's called Mimic. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to drill down into a particular study. And while I'm doing that, we'll talk about how the Mimic feature works. The idea here is when you're adding a new event to a study ARM, I'm going into the treatment segment. In this case, let's say I'd like to add a CBC to the labs and procedures, and it's not in here now. The things that are in here, as you can see, have been scheduled out over time. That's how the patient calendars are created, from the references of these check marks one to the other. I'm going to add Edit Labs. I'm going to come down to the Add module and find a CBC and diff. Now at this time, I could use one of these events to mimic, and by that I mean if I were to select something like adverse events here and schedule using the button here rather than the button up here to add this new event, then it would not only add the CBC and diff, but would add it with all the check marks in the same pattern as adverse events. I'm not going to do that at this time, however. I'm simply going to add the new event in. Perhaps it's because I don't know which event I really do want to mimic at this time. So with the new event then being loaded in, it's now available for scheduling. Here it is here. Let's take a look at the schedule event. We see the CBC is sitting here, and there's no scheduled events involved. There's also a mimic link. The mimic link does not appear on any other event because all other events have an existing schedule or plan. In this case, I'm going to click on Mimic. And let's say that I'd like to mimic the adverse event pattern up here, such that all of these events I want to have mimicked down here. Now, I could go through and click, 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 and so forth. But let's let the system do it for us. Adverse events. When I hit the Save and Continue button, the page will refresh, and you'll see my CBC and diff now include the same pattern as my adverse events. And this would be throughout all segments on the study. So if adverse event evaluations are done in the follow-up segment as well, the CBC would be paralleled right through that as well. So that's how to mimic an event that you're adding to a protocol ARM. You can do it when you add the event in itself, or you can do it on the rainbow page if the event has never been scheduled yet for any type of calendaring. All that begins on the main menu under Protocols, selecting the protocol and ARM that you need to work with, and then going into the segment for that protocol.